Welcome back. In this video we're going to learn how to make Pyrroles. So let's find out. So what we have here is a very basic Pyrrole. So all we have is an orbiting arc on this luminous drill. The rest is pretty trivial, but I'll go over it just to make sure it makes sense. The invisible spell is on the long distance cast, as well as the reduce spread and reduce recharge time. These aren't necessary, they're just there for looks, as well as the long distance cast, even though the long distance cast will provide a little bit of a benefit on not adding cast delay, since it works like a trigger or a timer. And then we have a rainbow glimmer and an increased lifetime on the luminous drill to make sure it lasts long enough. Since orbiting arc does increase its lifetime, but we would have to divide it by quite a bit to get a benefit from just the orbiting arc. But this combo right here looks like this. So it's pretty cool and very basic. And as you see, when we shift from one left, like the left half of the screen, to the right half, and vice versa, it'll swap over. And so you can do some crazy stuff with that, and you can keep swapping it over as long as you keep swapping sides. But let's see what all these divides do and these other two spells that we have. So let's divide it by 2 first and see what it does. Makes a neat little hexagon, I believe. I think that's 6. And they're pretty neat. I'm definitely a fan of them. And then we'll divide it by 3. And we'll divide it by 4. And then divide it by 10. So when you divide it by 10, it makes a neat star. But since Luminous has like gravity and the speed can be like it loses speed over time, it'll just collapse into itself and create a little dot, but it's still pretty neat. And I need to address that Pies had brought this to my attention, and Pies32 is a fantastic user. You can find them streaming at Twitch TV /Pies32. So I'll include their link below. And then let's try out some other spells. So we got a light spell, pinpoint a light. So actually first let's do it without a divide by, and it looks like this. Same thing, it just spins in a circle. Boop. And then with a divide by 2, looks like this. And since light doesn't lose speed, it'll always maintain the same shape, which is really neat. And then you have a divide by 3. Ah, they're beautiful. And then we have a divide by 4. I'm surprised. I kind of wanted to have all 4 of them be red, but I don't think that's very plausible. And then let's do a divide by 10. And like I said, since the orbiting arc adds lifetime, it'll increase these lifetimes the more we divide it. And these do add cast delay, but since, like I said, it's on a long distance cast, it's not adding that cast delay. And then we'll do chain bolt. So chain bolt without anything looks like this. Kind of a little bit lame. But a divide by 2 will make it do this. A whole lot cooler. And then divide by 3. And a divide by 4. And finally, divide by 10. It's extremely neat. And this is only the touching like surface of it. This is a very basic Pyrrole. So let's get into some more advanced ones. So this one already jumps up in complexity quite a bit. So likewise, long distance cast isn't needed. It's just to make it not add all the cast delay that it's going to add. And then we have a phasing arc. So phasing arc also changes the pattern of it, and then we have an orbiting arc as well. So with the phasing, it's going to make it jump every few seconds, and with drilling, it's going to make sure that this doesn't blow up when it hits the ground, and then glimmer to make it look pretty, obviously orbiting arc to make it spin, and then add timer to make this into a timer spell. And then we have this right here. So this is going to spawn 100 tentacles, and that is going to give this its incredible lifetime. So I go over this in a little bit more detail in the Tentapets video, so if you're curious on this interaction right here, you can find out there. But let's summon this pinpoint of light right here. And so as you saw, it shot out all the tentacles, and it's lasting for quite a bit. And the only two things that would add lifetime are orbiting arc and phasing arc, and it is lasting way longer than those two give it lifetime for, and that is due to the tentacles, and that's why I'm carrying this wand around, so we can get rid of it. So let's pick up these, and we're going to throw the lifetime of this onto the tentacle, so it's going to do something like this. And now this tentacle gets that lifetime, and also yeets our moon down from where it belongs. And let's summon another one. Oh, it's still recharging. There we go. Ow. And they're pretty fantastic. Not gonna lie, I am definitely a fan of them. And you can just keep summoning them, or you can keep moving them with the like swapping from left to right. So yeah. Let's get a divide by 3, and so we're going to throw the divide by 3 on this orbiting arc, and now it's going to make something else. Let's take off this tentacle for right now so we can see what it'll do with just this divide by 3. So it does something like that, and I actually put this in the wrong spot. I was supposed to put it on the phasing arc, so it's going to divide the phasing arc by 3. I apologize. Let me get rid of that one real quick. Boop. There we go. That's more like it. And now it makes a star. And likewise, if we were to throw the tentacle back on, it's going to add that lifetime to the tentacle and inadvertently add it to the pinpoint of light as well. So now we have this. And if you summon too many and the tentacle grabs it, then it'll make it whip into a more curved pattern, which is pretty cool. All right, and now let's hop into the next wands that we have. This one is pretty much the same concept as the one back there, but this one has the divide already on the phasing arc, and then it has orbiting arc as well. Those are the only things changing the pattern. And then we have a increased lifetime, a divide by 10 on this reduced lifetime, and a reduced lifetime. So this was provided by BestBardTopNa, and I will put his channel in as well. And you can do exclamation point commands in their chat, and you can find out how to make any lifetime spell into an infinite easier. Because like I said, these are increasing the lifetime of this pinpoint of light. And this is adding 25. Yes, this one's adding 25. And the devs had changed this one, and it's adding 80 to the lifetime. I don't know if they're going to change it back or change anything with it, but I'll try and keep the chart updated. Speaking of which, I need to update the chart. But for now, we have this one adding 320 to the lifetime, and this one's adding 25 to the lifetime of this already 90 lifetime. So Pinpoint of Light is a 6.6 repeating chance of hitting -1. And so we don't have that high of a probability of getting a infinite with it. And with this setup, we spawn 100 of them to make sure that we have a slightly higher chance of getting an infinite with them. And let me remove the tentacles for right now because it's going to be quite a bit hectic. Oh wow, we only got a few from that one. Let's see if we can get some more. There we go. And these are infinite, so you can, like, I don't know, make a scene with them or something. With these ones, it's not too practical. It's just really neat, and I definitely appreciate how cool they look. But for now, we'll get rid of them, and we're gonna throw some tentacles on there, and then we'll do it right up here. So likewise, they'll yank each other in different directions and all sorts of stuff. It can hurt stuff, but it also just yeets stuff around. So I guess it's practical ? But all right, let's go into the next wand. And of course we have the finale wand. And so this one is using the same concept as the last one, where it's going to make infinite chain bolts, and the formula for it is 2 ping pong paths, 2 chain spells, and that's why I have the spell duplication, so that we have 2 of them. And then we have this, which is added onto it to make it have the pattern that we want, but this is adding the lifetime that we have to compensate for. And so we compensate with, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but an increased lifetime, and then divide by 4 on a reduced lifetime. And then obviously drilling shot, not necessary, and the heavy spread is also not necessary, but it makes them spread out quite a bit more from just being in one spot. And then we're going to summon 40 of them infinite, and this is a guaranteed infinite. So this is a -1, as I like to call it, and it'll 100% spawn 40 chain bolts that are going to be infinite. So let's do invisible spell first, because it's probably the least climactic, and it gives you a sense of what's going to actually happen. All right, and now that you have a taste of that, let's do rainbow next. And let's do some green. And something that I want to note as well is if you keep them out too long, well, I mean, if they keep in this pattern, they slowly shift off. I have not moved my mouse and they're just veering off. I think it's just something to do with chain bolt, but before they escape, we're just gonna blow them all up. And then finally, we'll do a blue one. And something else you can also do is, since they're interchangeable, is orbiting arc and ping pong path is just swap them around, and it'll do something like this. Well, hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully you learned a little bit more about Pyrroles, and I can't wait to see your creations. So yeah, have a wonderful evening, noon, and night. Goodbye.